All right, folks, it's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about WWE Raw January 11th, 2021 event. And I'm not really here to review this worthless garbage show outside of one segment that was well worth everybody's time because there was a cliffhanger here. And that was the ending with Randy Orton and Triple H with The Fiend with Alexa Bliss shooting a fireball into Randy Orton's eyes and blinding him. We haven't seen something like that done in a very, very long time. This was choreographed, very much so, and it was pre-recorded. You can definitely tell by the way things looked. There was cuts that were made that you can clearly see it was terribly done. But you get the purpose of what they were trying to do here. They're slowly bringing the Fiend's character back to life, making him that supernatural being. But like the man Drew McIntyre is going to be facing at the Royal Rumble, Goldberg happened to manage to destroy that image and that character. Another thing to mention on this show, Drew McIntyre accepted Goldberg's challenge like you didn't see that one coming. But he made it very, very good enough to intrigue you. Drew McIntyre helped me get intrigued with this story between him and Goldberg. He went on to say, he says, "I'm all about respect. I don't know what you're talking about." He was stating about Goldberg's comments from last week, and he's just very confused on what Goldberg's mindset is, putting words in his mouth that he never thought of or believed. And Goldberg believes that even though he never said these things, he believes that he doesn't respect the legends that came before him, and he finds it rather retarded. Hey, Drew McIntyre, you're actually making sense. On this show, they made somebody sound like they could make them make sense. It's amazing. Matt Riddle, he lost his matchup with fucking Bobby Lashley for the U.S. Championship. I mean, what the hell are they putting this title match on Raw when they could put it on the pay-per-view of the Royal Rumble? I already have my card right now already set that I would have done for the Royal Rumble. You have the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble, the World Championship belts, both the Universal and the WWE Championship. That's 4 matches. And then you have the Intercontinental title, Big E versus Apollo Crews. That's what I would have done. Like I said on SmackDown's episode, I wouldn't have had them do a rematch to restart the match. I would have had them face each other at the Royal Rumble itself and compete for the Intercontinental title. And then Matt Riddle competing against Bobby Lashley in a pay-per-view situation over a championship would have been a lot better, and they could have done a lot more in that pay-per-view than what they would have done here. And it would have made it seem more special, and they could have built it up going into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, but they chose to put the U.S. Championship on the line on a Raw episode. Whatever. That's what I have to say. And Matt Riddle still to this day is fucking annoying. Would he please shut the hell up? As Chris Jericho used to say back in the Attitude Era. Because, my God, he is just god-awful and annoying. Makes me want to pull my hair out of my head or punch him in the face. I don't know why he signed a 5-year deal with WWE. I think that's what he signed. I didn't really get information on the amount of years on his contract, but I do know for a fact that he re-signed with WWE. Holy fuck. I don't know why he would do that. I don't know why he wouldn't go to like AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, anything. I mean, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor couldn't pay him the same amount of money as WWE, but granted, AEW could have. And him staying with WWE, I don't know why. I really don't. Randy Orton and Triple H kickstarted the show. Folks, I don't understand the dialogue here. What the fuck they were saying. This was god awful. It's 2021, folks, and we still got Triple H and Randy Orton. It's like almost 20 years of these two going at it back and forth. This is worse than Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Worse than Triple H versus The Rock. He has had the longest rivalry with Randy Orton on and off for almost 20 years. 17 years to be exact. That is pretty fucking pathetic. These guys have had countless matches. Randy Orton has had a bunch of matches with John Cena, but even Triple H has been a rivalry he's had the longest run with. And I don't understand why they're reintroducing or going back to this. They could have done something totally different. They could have had Randy Orton speak his words about what he was doing backstage last week, talking all the trash towards all the legends and everything, and being disrespectful at the end of the show, and then just have Randy Orton get shot in the face with a fucking fireball in his eyes. They could have at least just done that. I mean, Triple H and Randy Orton going at it, it doesn't really entice me all that much. It was kind of cool, though, seeing the sledgehammer on fire. But, I mean, it took them, like, almost a minute or two for them to get to that scene where the sledgehammer was on fire. That was terribly done. I get where they were going. It was a good effort on their part, trying to make this as over the top, as crazy as possible they could. But it was a terrible cut scene. I mean, it's not something that would get over in a movie. Let me just put it to you that way. Very terrible shit. And then on top of the dialogue that these two guys spoke of in the beginning of the show, holy shit, was this terrible. You got Triple H accusing Randy Orton of doing harmful things and cowardly things, and disrespectful things that he has never done. I think that's his exact words. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct or not, but I guess I'm paraphrasing here. But you get my drift. And let's get real. Triple H has done some terrible things in his 20 plus year career. One, he broke JR's arm. He beat up on JR multiple times in his career as an in-ring performer. Beating up a ring announcer, a commentator. I mean, what the fuck's up with that? And you're calling that spineless? You're calling that disrespectful? I mean, you don't call that disrespectful, huh? Give me a fucking break. You're doing things just as bad, if not worse, than what Randy Orton has done. Randy Orton attacks fucking wrestlers. I don't see Randy Orton going after referees. That's another thing. Earl Hebner used to attack him a bunch of times. I believe he even hit Earl Hebner with a sledgehammer in the fucking head. I mean, this guy, having him go out there and spew this bullshit is just mind-numbingly insane and very insulting to the viewer. I'm just having fun with this. I really didn't care all that much about this show. I've only done about 9 minutes. I'm not going through every little thing that occurred on this fucking show because it doesn't deserve it. I even started watching the show at 9 o'clock, 9:15, somewhere around there. And I have this shit recorded on YouTube TV so I can skip through anything that I don't care to watch. And Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax had a match with some group of people. I didn't give a flying fuck. You got Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans the next match right after that segment with Triple H and Randy Orton. And you got... Oh, wait, going back to that, I forgot to mention something they brought back that was not even original, wasn't even creative. They go ahead to have this match occur. They have Randy Orton say, You must have left your balls in your wife's purse. Gee, let me recalculate. Let me go back and think about this. Didn't he say those exact words about a year or two ago, actually 2 years ago, going into Super Showdown? I think it was the same event where where Goldberg and Undertaker had that terrible matchup. Well, yeah, this match, the same exact scenario happened. He said, "What, you left your balls in your wife's purse again?" Some kind of bullshit like that. And I just find it absolutely mind-numbing that they couldn't come up with anything else. Yeah, that's basically how they went about getting this match to occur. And it wasn't even really a match. It was supposed to be some kind of street fight. It's not even a sanctioned match. It didn't have a referee. It didn't have a 1, 2, 3 to it. You get the drift. I already stated all that stuff in the beginning of this video. Then you got Charlotte Flair having a match with Lacey Evans. Can someone please tell me why Lacey Evans is showing some attraction to a man who's in his mid to late 70s, maybe early 80s, and she's interested in him? Like, that's Charlotte Flair's father. Your opponent's father. To me, that was really bizarre. I can't even understand how the fuck they could even do some shit like that. But yeah, Lacey Evans apparently has the hots for Ric Flair. Yeah, can someone tell me in the comments down below where the fuck this came about? I don't quite get it. It doesn't make a logical sense. As usual, Vince McMahon and the WWE creative team doesn't believe in logic, apparently. They believe in just bullshit to throw at the wall and see if it sticks. I guess that's their mentality. I don't know anymore, guys. I really, really don't. You had Xavier Woods lose to fucking... You had Xavier Woods lose to T-Bar, T-Balls, T-Bag, whatever you want to call this dumbass, who used to be Dominic Dijakovic, who used to have hair and he looked badass. Now he looks like a fucking retard with a half-covering mask. Oh, God. This show was god-awful, beyond belief. The only thing that was well worth watching was the ending. And the rest of it, you could take it and throw it in the garbage. I mean, honestly, I did not give a flying fuck about this show. And I sat through the full 3 hours, skipping things and things of that sort, cutting it down to like an hour and a half to 2 hours. But even doing that was still like me saying to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Really? Like, why am I wasting my time here? The only thing that was interesting was Drew McIntyre's explanation to how he felt about what happened last week with Goldberg, which what everyone else felt, so you could relate to what Drew McIntyre must have been feeling, because it made no sense. And the ending with with Randy Orton getting a fireball to the eyes. I mean, you've never seen that very often in wrestling. And granted, yeah, it was a horribly done video that they tried to do, giving Randy Orton blindness to his eyes from the fireball. It was horribly done, quite frankly. And I mean, I don't understand it. I really, really don't. This show is just mind-numbing to the max. I don't know how the fuck people can stand up and say that this show is good. And for those who have said that, oh, Goldberg is better than all the people on the roster. Well, if you take a good look at creative and see what they're doing with their roster, you'd understand why they're so shitty. It's not because they're shit, it's because they're making them look like shit. Try distinguishing the difference between the two, and you might understand why hardcore wrestling fans like myself don't like this shit. And that's why the wrestlers on the roster don't look as good as they would if they were done correctly. Get it? It makes sense, doesn't it? It's all about creative. If you're not giving them anything creative to use, and they're looking like dipshits on television, well, I don't know what to tell you, but that apparently makes them look bad and doesn't give them that kind of larger-than-life look. And that's the bottom line about all this shit. And that's because World of Wrestling said so. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you guys have a great night. Keep safe from the COVID-19. Drew McIntyre actually has that right now. He is going to be off television for the next 2 weeks. So we're probably going to get 1 week of build with Goldberg and Drew McIntyre. Maybe Goldberg will show up on Raw to give us some kind of build towards this while Drew McIntyre is out, more than likely. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button, of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.